Morning and welcome back. Well, last month was all about engines and stuff, but as I mentioned at the end of the last video, it's now turning my attention to back to the interiors, more or less. This video is going to be a bit disjointed. So there's various things open, and also the fact that a couple of the shots I confessed I've already taken, so they're sort of historic and. After I'm speaking, but I will patch it all together, so hopefully you won't notice, other than maybe my beard's slightly different shape. Anyway, I better, although it's a lovely day, and I just said to somebody, I'd much rather be sitting here just drinking tea or whatever in the sunshine. I better get myself back inside and crack on. How would you get a mattress onto an aeroplane? Chop it up into little bits. So I'm slightly hesitant to even be admitting or showing this to you, because in retrospect it makes me look and probably confirms that I'm absolutely mad. But when I left Vienna, it was almost not brand new, but my mattress was only a couple of years old, and a few years old, and it was going to get thrown away. So I thought, well, actually at the time I thought, well, I'll cut it up into small pieces, and I can use the bits of foam for the dinette. However, and so I did that, and I sort of used the principle of a bit like those under-mounted bags thing. I used bin bags, and I sucked the air out of them and got them a bit more compact and a bit more easy to actually get into my baggage on the plane. And I did it in multiple trips. Anyway, I realised that they were probably too thick for the dinette cushions, and so I just thought, well, I'll have a go, because it's mostly foam with a few sort of stringy bits in the middle. I will have a go to see if I can sort of reassemble it to the right size. Because even if I bought a new mattress, I'd have to be cutting it up, because it's it's not quite the I think it's a bit of a weird length. 120. But anyway, let's see. These have been bound up for absolutely. Well, these have been bound up for a year and a half now. So don't know how if they're going to bounce back to shape. It's bounced up quite quickly. Well, I'm starting to think that I'm not quite as bonkers as I am bonkers, but it's actually worked better than I thought. It's sort of glued back. It was a much bigger mattress, so I've got some pieces left over, but just gluing 6 of the pieces together is so once it's in its sort of casing, as it were, I think that will be okay. It'll do for a while anyway. However, for the casing, I need some parental assistance. So, obviously, as I've cut the mattress down, I need to then readjust the mattress cover, and my mother has very kindly brought a sewing machine, and even more kindly, as you can see, it's a 4-hand job, this. Morning. Had a fun time. Fun's not quite the word, but with their help, we managed to sew up the mattress cover and get it on. And so this is it is so nice to have a full-size mattress to sleep on, and it's a extremely good upgrade to my living. Morning. Well, I have to tell you, I didn't wake up this morning planning to do what I'm about to do, but it is absolutely perfect painting weather. Perfect Goldilocks painting weather. It's dry, it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's not too windy. And well, actually, unfortunately I haven't got much paint because the paint I ordered last week still hasn't arrived. However, I've got a little bit of the grey left, so I'm going to try and at least get, if I can just get one gunnel done, or just a little bit, some primer, it's something less to do. And I said I can't waste this day. Well, compared to Chris's practically auto perfect finish, mine is more like I've just been painting the shed. However, it's as you can see, I've managed to get one gunnel. I actually had enough to do part of the back as well as part of the stern. So, anyway, one little less thing to do, and my insect collection is already greatly expanding. So I'm trying to actually get something the colour of the solar boxes, which is Wick's Storm Grey, and I quite like. And I've almost got it there with Steel Blue, which is the kind of the news. I mean, with all these things, it looks different depending on what light looking at it, but that is a pretty reasonably good match, I think. Well, I've been slightly kiboshed. The company that I'm buying the paint from phoned back and said, well, they can do the Jotun's products in many British Standard colours. They can't do it in that Steel Blue, and they've recommended this thing called Hazy Blue as a. Now it's 2 stars, which means it's distinguishable close. So, I mean, on the screen it looks fine, but as you know, these things always look different in real life. However, it's a primer coat, so if it's absolutely terrible, it's going to have to, well, it can be covered up. Well, it will be covered up, but God knows what I'll do in that case. So, ironically, Chris is just painting his boat, and this is his undercoat colour, and it's exactly the grey that I'm looking for. Alas, that it's just grey, Solds grey, without any other identifier, so that's not going to get me any further forward, but damn. The new paint I ordered has arrived, and it's, well, I'm happy to say it is looking more grey than blue, so Hazy Blue is grey-ish. I can see on my camera, it's a little lighter than it's looking on screen as so often, but it's not terrible, that. Well, I've done the port side gunnel with the new paint, and well, I'm not sure. It depends what light it's in. I mean, I'm looking at it on the video camera now, and it looks again looks quite dark grey. In real life, yeah, really don't know. You can just about see the difference of the 2 colours. The one on the left is the light grey, and on the right is the hazy blue. I mean, it's quite difficult, I have to say. The boundary is sort of here. And that's the stern deck painted. Looks a bit better. Morning. Well, if you've been watching long, you'll know that quite a number of weeks, if not months ago, I put some scrap worktops in above the kitchen cabinets just for what I said, a couple of weeks. Anyway, it's been a lot longer than that. The problem is, apart from aesthetics, they're actually working fine, so there hasn't been much of an impetus to do anything about them. However, I do need to get it sorted and get a real worktop put in. So earlier this week, I haven't known what to actually do about the worktops, what to use or who to buy it from, whatever. Anyway, this week I metaphorically got off the pot, as it were, and ordered some worktops, which have arrived yesterday. And if I can actually lift them myself, which is marginal, I have to say, I will start cutting them up for the right size. They're not easy, but as you can see, just about doable. But I think to get them to the boat, I will definitely need to be asking for some assistance. Chuffing hell. I did this morning because it was supposed to be dry. Well, I planned to do this morning, it was supposed to be dry. And as you can see, it's most patently not. And while I whack the plastic over it, it's still got a bit wet, so hopefully the worktop doesn't turn black. Because if it does, I'll have to give it a sand off. Light drizzle, it said. Right, let's try again. that it's rain clouds again. This is turning into one of those straightforward but not quick jobs. So first of all, the rain just keeps coming and coming, and secondly, as soon as I finished that video, the dear trusty old circuitor has conked out. I hope that I can get that sorted out because it's a trusty member of the family. However, in the meantime, Chris has happily has multiple circular saws. In fact, this is a newer version of the one I've got, and I will try and carry on with this while it's not raining. Well, I've done the first one, and thanks to the almost bloody constant rain, it's taken me actually about 4 hours to do that. Probably about half an hour tops work. Anyway, I just had a dirt moment and realised that although this is a sheet material, it's not a sheet material, and I can just about get it, you know, inside the container and work on it. So maybe I'll be able to do the next one slightly faster, because rain won't stop play, and it's raining as we speak. Well, I've managed to cut the second one to size, and I've put the hole in for the sink. I have to say it's not my finest work. Problem it was that it's all slightly curved, and the thin jigsaw blade, which is meant for curves, just isn't, because it's very fine. It just isn't up to the job of cutting through this thick oak. All that happened is it just literally started to set, you know, the black piece was about to set on fire and produce smoke. So I used the bigger blade, but again, just like when I was trying to cut out the holes, I had a problem with getting around the corners. And when you do that, it sort of goes off the vertical. So yeah, it's not terrible, but it's not what I'd hoped, I have to say. And now I'm just finishing off. The last thing I need to do before I give them underside a quick coat of varnish and then finish the day is I'm just putting the grooves in for the drainer. So again, I've made a little jig to put the router in, and it slides across. And it's working quite well, apart from alas, the very first one where the jig wasn't quite secured enough, and it slipped, and now I've got a double one, and that's really annoying. There's nothing I can do about it other than I'm just gonna have to have a very large drain hole, and not drain hole, but drain ridge or whatever, drain groove. So yeah, little knocked about that, but it's my own silly fault for not checking it was secure. The worktops are getting their nightly coat of varnish, just like the bathroom. I think they've come out quite nicely. I paid extra for inverted air bunnies, you know, prime oak. There were still quite a few filled bits and things, but hey, you know, it will be covered in stuff soon enough. And then the last little thing, which is it's a bit blingy. There's a small gap between the bottom of the lining and the thing, so I bought some very cheap lights from AliExpress, and I just thought, hey, so they're wired up to the same. It's just on off on switch for the main light, so you can't have both at the same time. But I think it's quite cool. It's not quite as bright as it's looking on the video. It's looking a bit like some lightsaber, but yeah, I'm a little frippery, but I'm quite like that. Well, another of those things that I've been meaning to do for ages is find a solution for the tarpaulin, you know, the tarpaulin of the polythene that's over the stern here. Which has worked great, but is on its very last legs at the moment, and is not particularly a good solution. So I was actually going to treat myself, as it were, and actually buy a tonneau cover. And you know, I knew these were going to be expensive, but I thought they were going to. Yeah, I budgeted about £400 to £600. So, but I was slightly shocked when the quotes came back to around £1,200, which is just not in massively within outside my available budget. So, as so often, I'm having a go at making my own. While my parents were here recently with the sewing machine, I got some fabric. You know, it's not quite as tough as I wanted, but it's kind of waterproof, you know, sort of canvasy stuff. Trouble buying stuff online, you can never actually tell. Although it says, you know, the thickness, etc. You can you never actually feel it. Anyway, it's what I've got, and even if it only lasts for you know, for a couple of seasons, I could make, for the cost of the material, I could make about 35 of these for what's the Tonneau cover. The last offcut I'm cutting up to make some reinforcing strips, so where it goes over the edges. So the other thing I've got to do is add some eyelet grommets. So the other thing I've done is got a big piece of aluminium bar when I was picking up the strips for the cover, and as you can see, what I've done is I've put a little hook in the end. That hooks onto the hatch and the rear door, and hopefully that will just give it a bit more support. Tapping the holes for the hook thingies. Well, it's not perfect, and it's not quite as well fitted, nor as robust as one bought from the manufacturers, but if it gets me through winter, it's, well, I hope it gets more than winter, because I don't really want to be sewing one again, but you know what I mean. It's certainly a vast improvement on the rapidly disintegrating tarpaulin, that's for sure. This week's error, though, as you can see, the first couple of little hook things that I drilled, it was very difficult with just one end to get it taut enough and work out where it had to go, and by the end I realised that we were completely the wrong place. Anyway, as you can see, I've re-drilled and I've filled them in, which I'll sand down at some point in the near future, so not the end of the world. And happily the ones here is just on the external bits of the boat anyway, so it's not like an extra hole to the inside cabin. Right, well that's, as you can see, I've just put one, well I put the last coat of varnish on, of how many I've lost count, and yes, sorry, and the idea is that I have to go away for a number of days, in fact almost a week, so it's quite hot, so hopefully by the time I get back it will have nicely baked on and hardened up. So, as that, and I'm doing this literally as I'm about to go out the door, so don't wreck it up anymore. So I will have to wind up now. So I haven't a clue on the. I suspect this. I haven't looked at any of the videos, but I know it's all been very. It's going to be quite a hodgepodge and jumping around. Probably by the end of it, quite short, because I don't feel like I've taken much video. Anyway, it is what it is. I have to do these bits and bats. So thank you for watching, and. As you can guess, I'm going to be away for almost a week, so it means that next week there will not be a video, but if you keep tuned, in a couple of weeks' time I will pop up on your YouTube feed once again, no doubt. But in the meantime, hope you're well, thanks for watching, and catch you later.